everyone, Melissa here. Today I am doing a foil to clear ombre nail. I kind of wanted to stick with a slightly Halloween-y feel, but without the extra Halloween vibe that I've been going with. I've been kind of moving more to a subtle Halloween feel. So I'm doing Double Dip Tornado, which is this gorgeous red foil ombre'd with the perfect double dip clear. So I'm going to be doing this a little bit differently than your typical foil. I'm going to be putting the foil down first. Than your typical ombre. I'm going to be putting my foil down first and then encapsulating it with the clear. I'm not going to be alternating them or doing the foil on top of clear or anything like that. Be doing it a little different in that there's going to be more dipping than just tapping for this also. And then also I have had this idea in theory in my head for a while, but I haven't actually tried it on a nail yet, so it should work. You'll find out with me, I guess. So far I have prepped, done my cuticle work and buffed the shine off the nail. Yes, I still have that guy right there. It's growing out. I'm not sure what's going to happen with him. It doesn't really hurt anymore, so don't worry about me as long as you're not grossed out by him. So I'm going to go ahead and dehydrate all the nails using my double dipped #1 prep bond. Okay, for my ombre, I'm going to start with my dip base. I'm going to apply the base just on the tip. You see this red gets all over. So just at the tip here, I'm just going to apply the base here and dip that into this foil. Yes, I generally use a different bottle for foils and for regular powders because foils do tend to bleed. Ones like this, like Tornado, don't bleed as much as a lot of foils do, as in the color bleeding on the nail into other colors, but color still does bleed off a little bit, and it makes brushes, can make brushes very messy. Okay, again, just the tip here. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing again, but applying the base slightly past where I applied it before, just slightly past. If you want the ombre to go further down your nail, then you may go a little bit further, but I want the ombre to end around here. So I'm just gonna go slightly past and we're gonna do a second coat on the tip that way. Okay, now doing this has made what was a sparse coverage on the tip with that first dip a more thorough and solid coverage, because you've got 2 dips on the tip now. Makes it a little more solid, and then that second one makes it a little more sparse as you go down the nail. And you could keep doing this if you wanted to go down further. You could do another one and another one, and it'll become more solid at the tip. The coverage will become more solid at the tip and then more sparse the further down you go doing it that way. I don't want it to go much further than this. As far as the ombre, actually, let's brush off and see where we are. All right, I'm going to just start doing some sprinkling on to get the rest of the ombre coverage that I want. And that will fill in any other gaps that are going on. But let's see what's going on, what's happening here and how this is gonna look so far. As I said, I haven't tested this on a nail yet, so bear with me as I figure out exactly how I'm living my life right now. So I'm just gonna pick up some of the foil and if you have any empty spots up here, you can just tap right on. Yeah, this will do. Starts to fall down the nail a little like that. I want another little piece right here. Did not quite fill in right there on the side. Add a little more base. There we go. I'm gonna do that all the way down the nails. Now remember, since this is the first layer of base that's hitting my natural nail, it might dry pretty quickly because the natural oils in your nail cause the base to dry quicker. So if you can see that it's starting to dry quickly, then it's not going to pick up the layer of foil that you want. You can come back and add a little more base. This one just took over a little bit more than I wanted it to. So I'm just going to kind of scrape it back and redo that. Clean it up a little, very gently. And I'm gonna come back to you. And let it dry a minute and come back. Go on to the next nail. I'm actually going to paint this and let it dry. And do the next nail and do the same. Just because it is drying pretty quickly on my nail, so I'm going to get that base layer down to prevent the ombre layer from drying so fast. That red coming through with the liquid that bled out would show through the clear once I apply the clear, so trying to minimize that. Switch to a brush that doesn't have the foil stain all over it, and then applying it, not brushing over the foil itself. This is the kind of stuff that happens when you try to execute an idea that you've only had in your head. You start to realize some parts of it that need to be adjusted or fixed in a certain way to make it all work. And that's okay. That's part of the fun of doing all this, is figuring out how to make it work. I love a puzzle. I love a problem. Unless it becomes a big, dirty, nasty problem like this looks like it is becoming. But we will see. Now I'm just trying to observe spots that need a little more love. Then I'm just putting base in a small spot and then sprinkling the foil over. See, like this on the side here, there's a little spot on the side that is not covered. I'm gonna make it covered. Okay, so basically you can just drive yourself crazy going over this and trying to perfect it forever and ever, but I'm not gonna do that today. I'm going to just start doing my clear dips over the top of this and hope for the best. So we're going to brush off any excess powder, foil. I'm going to do some clear dips over this, and I'd say probably 3-ish. And then we will see where we are then. Activate, file, and pray. Okay, now they're all dipped. Boy, do these look a mess. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna activate them and file them and see how it came out. I think conceptually I had a good idea, not that it necessarily came out exactly how I wanted it to, but that is part of what happens when you throw a concept on a nail without practicing it first. But we'll see. Maybe after filing and top coating I can salvage this and they'll look cool. I'll be back. Okay, so I've filed, and I think they're looking a little bit better. I'm gonna do a layer of base over the top just to kind of get an idea of how the foil looks on there. I feel like it's a bit of a mess, although I'm pretty happy with my thumb. I feel like I'm happy with how this one came out, the ombre. I feel like that looks good. Don't know how I feel about the other ones. Luckily they're supposed to be kind of Halloween-y and kind of creepy. Like I just like clawed somebody and had their blood all over me. But there is still one more thing I can do to try and fix it up a little. I'm not in love. Okay, it's pretty cool. I am going to just do a little thing to try and make it just look a little more of a good falling ombre instead of more of like a sharp. I mean, it doesn't really look like sharp, but it's just not as much of a falling ombre as I was hoping for. And it ended up going a lot further down on the nail than I had originally anticipated, which is fine. Like I said, I hadn't practiced this on a nail before, so I kind of expected it probably wasn't going to turn out the way I originally planned. But this is why we adapt and we make it work. So I'm going to get my brush again. I'm actually going to get my fan brush, because I feel like it sprinkles foil just a little bit better, even though I can't fit it like well in here. I still think it'll work better. And I'm going to put base just kind of where the foil line meets the nail line, and just try and very sparsely sprinkle and give it just a little bit more of an addition to that little bit of ombre, and hopefully make it a little more of a like falling effect. Very gently. All right, that'll do. And do that on the wrist. Try and be just as careful. This is the only one that did not quite work on. Okay, I'm gonna leave it here, and I'm just going to do another layer of base over the top, and then I'm going to activate it in top coat, and we will look at the final product after that. Okay, well, Hopefully if this video has taught you anything other than a possible new way to ombre with foil, it is that sometimes things don't go how you plan them to, and you have to think of creative ways to make it work. This did not go exactly how I planned it to, but I still think it turned out pretty cool, especially for Halloween. And I'll definitely be cleaning these up and taking some pictures, and we'll see how the final results look. Either way, thank you for joining me on this wild journey I went on today. And if you stuck with me through that, I really appreciate it. Let me know what you think, or if you think of something I could have done differently that made it work out better. Either way, thank you as always for joining me. If you enjoy my videos, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.